Good evening, honored judges, faculty, and guests. If you were told that there was an opportunity to improve the global economy, the safety of children, and the health of adolescent girls and newborns, you would wonder what this miraculous solution is. However, the solution is not a what, but rather a who. The solution is a girl. Globally, there are 66 million girls who are not receiving an education. Girls in developing countries, which are poor agricultural countries, are often deprived of schooling for various reasons, such as financial difficulties, sexism, or even so they won't be terrorized by hate groups who oppose educating girls. All girls are entitled to an education, and affordable schooling should be readily available to them for the benefit of the global economy, the safety and health of children, and the well-being of the 66 million girls. Literacy, or the ability to read and write, and education are both crucial for any young girl to have, particularly one who needs to escape a dangerous situation. One scenario in which literacy would be vital is an abusive relationship. Abusive relationships are so common in developing countries that they are often justified, even accepted. For instance, 2/3 of women polled in Ethiopia agreed that the husband has the right to beat his wife if she disobeys him, burns the food, or refuses sexual intercourse. Without being able to read or write, having to flee an abusive relationship can be nearly impossible. A girl cannot read road signs, write a letter to her family, or earn any money of her own, and she's left hopeless, succumbing to a life where she is physically, mentally, and sexually abused. When educated, girls have a set of skills that can make them employable, and they can earn money doing a job rather than being forced to stay to an abusive spouse. An educated girl is one that is aware of her rights and equipped with the knowledge to escape a dangerous situation. Sex trafficking, or the act of sexual slavery, is a disgraceful world that far too many young girls are forced into as a result of poverty. Young girls are forced to marry a much older man or sold into prostitution. In fact, half the victims of sexual assault are younger than 15 years old. These girls contract deadly sexually transmitted diseases, such as acquired immune deficiency syndrome, commonly referred to as AIDS. School could change the course of this girl's life. When educated, girls have a set of skills that make them employable, and they can earn money doing a job rather than poverty forcing them into prostitution. In addition, educated girls know how to prevent sexually transmitted diseases, and as a result, they protect themselves and do not obtain these diseases, and live a healthier, safer life. Typically, girls in developing countries get married very young. In fact, 1/3 of girls in developing countries are married by the time of their 18th birthday. Consequently, girls who get married young are impregnated young, and carrying children at such young ages can be treacherous. In fact, the #1 cause of death in girls ages 14 to 19 is childbirth complications. When girls attend school for at least 7 years, they marry an average of 4 years later, and girls who have children from ages 20 to 24 have 5 times the chance of surviving pregnancy than girls who give birth at ages 10 to 14. Although schooling is crucial for the health of a young girl, it is not often discussed the impact that an educated mother can have on a child's health. Educated mothers immunize their children, meaning they vaccinate them so they do not contract deadly diseases. Children who have a literate mother have twice the chance of surviving past age 5 than children with an illiterate mother. Educated girls immunize their children, do not contract sexually transmitted diseases, and do not marry or give birth at an unsafe age, resulting in healthier lives and healthier offspring. Unfortunately, although schooling is crucial to the health of young girls, attending school in certain countries, such as Pakistan, can be dangerous because there are terrorist groups who oppose educating girls. The story of Malala Yousafzai, pictured here, illustrates how hateful and violent these groups can be. Malala Yousafzai grew up in Pakistan, but she is very similar to teenagers in the United States. She tells everything to her best friend, bickers with her brother, speaks English, and is even familiar with the Twilight movies. Malala is also an active advocate for girls' right to education and spoke out publicly against a group who opposes girls' right to education, called the Taliban. The Taliban had demolished more than 4,000 schools, but never when a child was inside, so Malala assumed she was safe. On October 9, 2012, Malala was shot 3 times by a member of the Taliban on her way home from school. Although one bullet hit the side of her head and lodged in her neck, she survived this attack, which is a miracle considering how serious her wounds were. Although she now has to live in Britain to avoid the Taliban, she continues to speak out for girls' right to education, saying that the morals and skills enforced in school, such as communication, equality, and respect, are necessary for every child to learn. She says that the key to abolishing these senseless crimes and hate groups is dialogue and education. Although attending school may be dangerous, it is still of the utmost importance because it is education and education alone that will end the ignorance that is enabling groups like the Taliban. Poverty plays a key component in why many girls in developing countries cannot attend school. Fees for textbooks and uniforms are simply too much for families that can barely afford food. This is why public schooling should be available to every young girl in developing countries. Education is important and should be prioritized when distributing government funds because it is an investment that will pay for itself over and over. Due to more education resulting in higher paying jobs, once a girl surpasses 4th grade, every additional year of school she completes adds 15% to the salary she will earn yearly as an adult. Higher salaries result in business expansion and more money spent on everyday goods, thus improving the entire global economy. Some families do not allow their daughter to attend school because they deem schooling unworthy for girls. However, girls tend to give back more than 90% of their income back to their families and parents, certainly paying over any fees they acquire during their time in school. For those who oppose educating girls for financial or sexist reasons, they should be aware that educating girls improves the entire global economy, as well as benefits families' personal finances. All girls are entitled to an education, and affordable schooling should be readily available to them. Not only is education the remedy to terrible issues such as domestic abuse, sex trafficking, and terrorism, it also boosts the global economy and the safety and health of children. Considering all the advantages that educating girls has on their lives and their countries, it is obvious that providing schooling for these girls is crucial for the success of our world. Thank you.